أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله وكفى والصلاة والسلام على خير خلق الله سيدنا محمد وعلي وصحبه أجمعين. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Give thanks to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala who has made us Muslim, who has spared and strengthened our lives today. Beseech him to shower his blessings and his mercy on his prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, his companion, and everyone that followed the his teaching of judgment. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. And inshallah today we shall be discussing a question that is sent across board to us, that is it permissible, is it allowed for a Muslim to be buried in his house or to be buried in the mosque? When you say burying a Muslim, the burial is a rite, it's a funeral rite that has to be done on every disease who happens to be a Muslim. When a Muslim dies, it is faridu kifaya, it is responsibility for some Muslim in that community, in that environment, in that family, to take up such Muslim and make a burial arrangement for such a Muslim. But as far as Islam is concerned, Islam has recommended that there should be a Muslim cemetery. A Muslim cemetery where any dead Muslim is expected to be buried, not in the house. Such Muslims should be buried in the burial ground, the Islamic cemetery, Islamic burial ground, alongside with all his cohorts, Muslim cohorts, for him to have the blessings of Allah being in the midst of his brethren. And one of the reasons why Islam has forbidden burying in the house are many. We just mentioned like few for us. Number one reason, it's not the practice of Islam. It's not the practice of Islam. It's the practice of the Gentiles, the non-believers. But as far as Islam is concerned, Muslims are not to emulate the practice of the non-believers. Number two, it is not recommended by the Prophet ﷺ. The Prophet told us that when any Muslim died, such Muslims should be buried in the burial ground. Number three, to avoid shirk. To avoid shirk that might be, display or perform consciously or unconsciously. Because part of the practice of the Yahudi and Nasoro, so as I said that, all Muslims, do not take my grave as a place of worship, like the Jew and Christian took the grave of the pious fellows, pious ones among them, as a place of worship. They took Isa ibn Maryam as idol of worship. He said we should avoid it. So if you bury a Muslim in the house, part of the practice of people is consultation of the dead. They can be asking the dead to provide them with their provision. Islam says when anybody is died, take such a person to burial ground to avoid shirk. Number four is to also avoid harming such dead person, because the person you place in that place, you have put the person in the wrong environment. So people will not be able to fulfill the ethics of dealing with the grave. Number one is we are not to sit on the grave. We are not to place something upon it. We are not to pray around it. Say, La tusalli ala al-qubur wa tajlis alayha. Say, don't pray on the grave and do not sit upon it. But today we've seen the cases where people will even display mat on the grave and sleep over it. They pray over it. They play over it. They weave over on it. This is against Islamic recommendation. So it is not allowed for a Muslim to be buried in the house. Even if a Muslim writes in his will that after my demise, bury me in the mosque or bury me in the house, we Muslims who are around to change such a will, that will should be removed, should be changed, because it is against Allah's injunction. So we have to change it and remove it and go with recommendation that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and His Prophet has laid down for us. Then if we have seen cases of Muslims that are already been buried in the house, what do we do? And what we should do is such body should be moved, should be exhumed and taken to the Muslim cemetery or burial ground. Should be removed. Perhaps those who did it then are ignoramus. They did it out of ignorance. But now we've realized the truth. We've realized the fact. What we should do is to exhume the dead body, pack it, and take it to the cemetery. That is the best to be done. And there's no special sacrifice. There's no anything. Just remove it, and that's all. So this is just little we want to pass across to each and every one of us. Pray Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to accept this as another ibadah and forgive our shortcomings and add it to the scale of our righteous deed. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.